Hello to any replayers. If you're a replayer, you can still participate. You can tap on the screen for hearts. You can share it with anybody you think would benefit from this broadcast. Hi, Pete Bradley. And of course, you can follow me if you're not following me, if you think this will be helpful. Hi, Singly Ork. And hi, LG Credit Consulting. Hi, Sandy. And for everybody else that's joining live, let me flip it around. For now, hey, and welcome everybody. Hi, Tim Hilkov. Hi, Kimmy Rob. And if you're new to me, my name is joannazarach. Thank you for the hearts. Hi, I know, twice in one day. I always feel like Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays and Fridays, I get twice as much. Thank you for inviting people. If you think anybody will benefit, I'll talk about the topic today. But let me introduce myself to anybody that's new. Oh, hi, Shannon Dada. I love your periscopes. I wanted to talk to you guys about what I'm going to talk about. But first, introduce myself. That's right. I'm like losing my train of thought. My name is joannazarach. I do a daily broadcast on money habits. That's at 10 a.m. every day, 7 days a week. I talk about developing better money habits to help you guys build up your money skills. Oh, well, you had class. That's fantastic. It was about fees, because Fridays we always talk about fees. You can always replay it. But thank you for joining now. On Fridays and on Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m., I do a Money Matters broadcast. So you're welcome to my Money Matters. Hi, Cindy. Thank you. I am talking about Schedule C today. So I talked about Schedule A, and I was going to get to Schedule C on Tuesday, but I realized, you know what, it's a lot more complex. Why Schedule C, and why talk about it, and why should you care? So first of all, I think that as part of wealth or building wealth, we talk about income. And a big thing about income is believing that you have control over it. And it is complex, but it's also important to break it down and get yourself familiar. What I'm trying to encourage people to do is to believe in themselves and their ability to understand concepts. And I'm here to break them down and make them simpler and make them less intimidating. Yeah, and so small business ownership is an important part of building multiple income streams or achieving your dreams or really giving of what you have to offer. Bottom line, I have my, I'm challenging myself this year to try to get them filed by April 15th because I've been doing the 6-month delay. I pay my taxes on quarterly tax, so I know I've paid my taxes, but I have the filing. I've been doing the extension, and oh my God, if I do the extension, I end up waiting till October 15th. So I'm challenging myself this year to do it April 15th. So anyhow, so Schedule C, and why is it important? So everybody should aspire to be a business owner. And I know it's not for everyone, but a business owner is a very broad category. Yeah, filing the extension. The extension is like one of the hi from Indonesia. Oh my God, 2013 to do. No, IRS, you know what? IRS just gonna charge you some fees or penalties or whatever, if that. The IRS cares more about you paying on time than you filing on time. Although you want to file either on time. If you can't file on time, make sure you file an extension. An extension, it's an automatic. Like, you don't need to have permission from the IRS. I know, it's always like, surprise. But this is why Schedule C is so important. If you have a business, if you're, it's very beneficial, right? It makes you think about taxation more, and it makes you realize how taxes are calculated. And so that's why, I've had my own business, consulting business, since 2009. So I've been doing a lot of Schedule Cs, and now I've been helping other people and encouraging other people to do it. So anyway, here's what I'm going to do today. Yes, you are conscious about minimizing taxes. Oh yeah, that's right. So, so I love, my husband, after my last Money Matters Periscope, my husband goes, did you really just say you love Schedule C? And I said, yes, I did. Okay. So let's actually flip it over and let's break it down. And actually I'm going to use TurboTax. I know. This is what I'm meant to do, guys. I'm meant to talk about money with everybody. So here's the Schedule C. Okay, I know. So I'm connecting my phone to my computer because the charge is low. So if it keeps popping up, I'm gonna get annoyed. But anyway, here's a Schedule C. So one thing people don't do enough is, well, I understand and not everybody needs to become a tax preparer, but what I need to, and thank you guys for joining and for sharing, what I need to do, what you need to do is even if you have someone else preparing your taxes, you need to review your tax return. When you get that pile of tax forms from someone else, please make sure you read them. Make sure you look and see what all the numbers are, even if you have a service provider doing it. Better yet, I challenge you to at least attempt preparing it. Yeah, because you know what? People think that like somehow your CPA, oh, thank you. With student class, that's great. Yeah, Periscope's just a great place to share our knowledge, right? It's been such a fantastic place for me to start this, like, share my financial knowledge with people. So anyhow, please review your taxes because you are, by signing a tax return, you are responsible for the accuracy of it. So a lot of people will sign a tax return and they've never actually reviewed it and they never ask questions of their tax preparer because they just want to be done. Yeah, the community. So you guys, if you're yes, I am cheap. Her name is Sandy. She has fantastic, fabulous Periscope. So does Shannon Dada. Both of them are just people after my heart. They do the yeah, they are usually more conscious. That's right. You get to realize like how taxation works. And as you guys know, that's the number 2 lever after income into wealth building. Okay, back on track. So make sure you review your taxes. Okay, what am I looking at here? By the way, everybody's a business. Do you know that you're a business? You're a sole proprietor. You just need an EIN number from federal government. You don't need a lot of paperwork to just be a sole proprietorship. And then and if you want to be more advanced, everyone should start out as a sole proprietorship. I mean, unless you're like really complex or you have partners, just start out. Just start out as sole proprietorship. Just go to the IRS website, file an EIN in your name. You don't have to do that. So, thanks, guys. Anyway, so here, all that goes into your Schedule C is your name, your business name, if no separate business name, which means like I have a sole proprietorship that's just named joannazarach. And this is where you can put your social security number or your EIN goes in here. There's some codes from instruction, sophisticated taxpayer. Oh, cool. I should check it out. Your business address, accounting method. Most businesses do cash accounting. I always recommend it when you first start out in business, just do cash accounting. All that it means is that you use the calendar year and then the cash that came in by December 31st or went out, that's all it counts versus accrual is more accounty. And so I use simple, I'm simple. I use cash. Did you materially participate in operation of this business during 2015? And again, if you're running your business, that means yes. If you started acquired a business during 2015, simple is always the best, guys. If you can't understand it and if no one can explain it to you, please don't follow that advice. If someone's giving you advice or trying to sell you something, please make sure you understand what they're selling and make them explain it to you. You understand it, not till they're satisfied. You are the purchaser of ideas. So that's where you'll have it. Okay. Did you make payments in 2015 that will require filing form 1099? That means if you had a contractor that you hired or people you made payments to of $600 or more, and then if yes, did you or will you file required forms? So these are just the start. Income, yeah, I think like people don't require other people to give them explanation that they understand. They just want to be like, okay, you tried explaining to me, I didn't understand, but I'm going to accept your word. Don't take my word for it either. Like, always ask me questions. I'd rather explain it. Okay, income. The income part, look how small the income part is versus expenses. That's why we're going to focus on expenses. Income, gross receipts or sales. Again, this is how much money your business brought in. This is sometimes called gross or revenue. There's all kinds of different invoices, all different names, but it's just how much money your business brought in. Returns and allowances, I don't know. I don't use it. I mean, for expenses, that's right. Cost of goods sold. So expenses and cost of goods sold are two different things. Because I sell services, I don't have a cost of goods sold. But people who sell products, when you make an actual product you pay for, then you typically will have the cost of goods sold. By the way, when you file Schedule C, I learn a little bit about accounting too. And that's your gross profit, other income, and you always I ignore a lot of stuff on the IRS forms because they're for very specialized situations. So I know it mostly from a services point of view. So I don't always know everything. So gross income. And this is what I want to focus on today. I'm going to go through the TurboTax explanation for each of these. This is before you start a business, study this section. And by study, I mean, read about what are the different expenses that the IRS sees as deductible against your revenue, and how are you going to categorize what it is you spend money on. If you want to make your life easy at tax time, either whether you do it yourself or submit them to somebody, know these categories. And see, the thing is that on Schedule C, I think further in the instructions, there's more detail. What I love about TurboTax, is when you do things in TurboTax, it actually gives you these examples. Yeah, so learn it. I mean, it's good to just review it. You use iPhone. I'm not sophisticated enough for last in, first out to increase. You know what? Here's the thing. I mean, you can maybe decrease taxes, but at some point that you still, it depends for which year, right? So it depends what you're expecting the following year, right? But I'm not sophisticated enough to give you a quick answer on it. I'd have to really look into the situation. Depends if you can sort of depreciate your inventory, if you have stale inventory, and how you write it off, I suppose. Not an accountant. I am not, people, I'm not an accountant. I'm just a personal finance enthusiast that loves doing and explaining things. Okay. Advertising. So here is the thing. This will give you advertising examples. You can get ideas about what things you spend money on, which category they fill in. And by the way, you can also interpret a little bit in terms of what it is that you are using for advertising in your particular industry, as well as the evolving world, right? Like nowhere on here does it say Facebook ads. But by the way, that's where they would go, right? So knowing what goes into these categories is important. Business travel. Again, this is travel that requires you, there's a definition of, by the way, look at this. Did you see this? While you're not required to have receipts for amounts less than $75, read this. It's very important to have documentation showing the business purpose of the expense, say in a diary or a spreadsheet. This is one of the most important things in taxation. People get crazy with receipts. Did you just see that? If it's less than $75, you don't need an actual receipt. But what you need to keep track. So I keep a monthly spreadsheet that I created to keep my expenses on so that I can categorize them. And just this year, by the way, it didn't occur to me until November to categorize them according to the tax categories. I kept always to have to reformat it at the end of the year. And it only occurred to me because I was teaching somebody how to do taxes and said, you know what, this is dumb. I should categorize them immediately on tax categories. Where is it going to go on my Schedule C? So yeah, it's literally, it didn't occur to me for 5 years until I had to teach someone. Because guys, being on Periscope is making me smarter, because having to explain it to other people is really, really valuable for me. I'm challenging myself, I'm researching, and I'm doing more. And the engagement that I have really helps me. Communication expenses, cell phone, long distance calls. Who makes those anymore, by the way? No. Wireless access for mobile devices. Do you have an iPad? Do you have an iPhone? Do you have a data plan? These are the things that are communication expenses. Skype. You have Skype credits. Do you have a router? Did you buy any cables? Did you have to buy replacement stuff? Ringtones for your business phone, all that. Yeah, that's right. you definitely, I think TurboTax for business, it's great. I've been using this tool. I'm just so comfortable with it. And I feel like it's less energy for me to just do it myself. Insurance payment, by the way, if you have insurance payments that your business pays, if you're self-insured, right, you have pay for your own health insurance, it's fully deductible if you have a business, right? This is important. So you may be purchasing a better insurance that's got because it's fully deductible versus healthcare expenses on Schedule A are subject to the 7.5% limit or minimum. Legal and professional fees, right? I always like the more examples. So legal and professional fees. Are you part of an association? You pay any organization fees. Accounting fees, right? Short-term consulting fees. So any fees that you pay, and you can see one-time consultation fees. Because again, if you hire someone on an ongoing basis, they're probably a contractor. Fees paid for website analysis. Again, a lot of digital products haven't caught up yet with the tax code hasn't caught up with the digital products yet. So sometimes you have to make your best guess. And by the way, the IRS never punishes you for making your get. We'll keep you this one, yeah. Everything goes on catch.me, so feel free to replay it, look at it again. I have to put some I think I'm going to do some screenshots. So I hope TurboTax is okay with that. I'm not giving you anything away. I'm just showing you guys what I think they give away for free on their website. So this is my TurboTax, and I'm not making any money off of this, so hopefully it's all right. Let's see, office expenses, right? And so you may have an office outside the house, but you may have an in-home office. All right, let's talk about home office expense. So in order for you to deduct a part of the cost of your living space as an office expense, you have to be really careful. Read the rules. And again, I don't have any employees. I've never had any employees, but I have used contractors. But again, I've never assigned them work hours, given them equipment. So you should know the rules about employees and contractors. Everyone should. And for yourself too, if you're a contractor to a company and you've been there for 3 years, red flag, if that's your only source of income. And I've seen companies, big corporations, get in trouble with that because they're playing the HR game. Yeah, I've seen people. I'm seriously, you have a desk and you have a name tag, and you have a badge. You're like, I don't need no sticking badges. So anyway, home office. Back to home office. So home office is it's always a sticky. To take deduction for your home office, you have to meet certain rules. You have to have a space in your house that's designated solely for your business. And for example, I don't have one, therefore I don't take a home office deduction. Now, office expenses are separate from your home office deduction. I think sometimes people get that mixed up, or they just don't. They say, well, I don't have a home office, so I can't take any deductions. You may not take the deduction for the square footage, like part of your mortgage or part of your rent or the utilities and all that. But the things that you have to purchase, like office expenses or office supplies, to get your workspace, to be able to do work at your home, that would be something that you want to keep track of. And it probably is deductible. Repairs and maintenance. Again, this is for offices or for, this is, again, the Schedule C covers a lot of cases. So some stuff, things just don't apply. So don't worry about it, right? This is if you make an improvement to your business space or equipment, right? So if you broke your phone, yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you have a filing cabinet. So again, I actually rent out an office away from my home, which I'm shutting down because I spend so much time at home now since my children are in school. So, but I'm probably not going to claim this office space. Maybe I will. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, so maybe cleaning services, some minor. So again, this is if you have a separate office, and then if you have a home office. Again, the home office is one of the things that can raise flags. So just be real clear on that, right? Same as contractor and employee. Taxes and licenses, right? If you need some licensing or payroll taxes, professional licenses, like your state charges you a fee. This is why I'm so adamant about tracking everything. And again, if you're starting up a business, you're going to pay a lot of these fees, right? Incorporation fees, business name search fees, like anything you pay is tax deductible. Now, I would think that what I really want you guys to do is to realize that just spending money is not make sure you're not spending money because it's a tax deduction, right? Like I'm a big believer in profitability ahead of tax benefit. So make sure you're, here's utilities. So again, utilities are if you have a business office or these are for only utilities used at your business office or properties, right? Not in your home office. Because again, the home office deduction is a whole separate thing. So if you had a home office, and so see, this is why I love TurboTax, because it'll give you a guidance. TurboTax is a guided process for filling out taxes. I would never just try to do the 1040. I used to do with a pen and paper back in the day, but I've been using TurboTax for so long because they give you these things, right? It's a little pop-up window. It's terrific. I know, Intuit doesn't pay me for any of this. I love their product. I love it. I think, it's a market leader for a reason. They've really done a great job. So those are, sorry. Okay. Ooh, they're going to go vertical because I need to keep it plugged in and it won't stand on my stand. Anyway, let's go back to my Schedule C. So let's go back to and just go through categories. Close. So things to make your business run, advertising, car expenses. You should check whether your standard mileage or actual costs is better. And then I think once you claim it for a car, you have to stick with it. Contract labor, depletion, depreciation for anything larger. Again, some of these things I'm not as familiar with because quite frankly, I run a services business and it doesn't incur all of these. So always find, one of the things that you should always have is a mentor, right? Or someone who's in your line of business who's ahead of you because you can learn from them. You can ask them questions. You can ask them how they deal with something. And just because they deal with something in a certain way doesn't mean that you have to do it the same way, but you have a point of view. And, that's it. That's, their total expenses is going to lower your taxable profit. And that's why it's so important to have it. I don't know, the other stuff, I don't think I really use. Again, I use TurboTax, so I don't worry as much about understanding every single thing on here on the Schedule C as I do about doing the guided inputs on TurboTax. So let's see. That's really that's the thing on, that's the thing about Schedule C. So what did I learn? What did I learn about Schedule C? So there's a few things. There's one more thing about being a business owner that I want to talk about. And it's something that most people don't know about or don't think about is your retirement contribution. I'm a big proponent of not just leveraging your business for having income, having some freedom, doing things you enjoy, and also having some deductible things. To me, one of the biggest benefit of being self-employed and having a solo business, being a solopreneur, is taking advantage of the retirement plans. So the individual, I just talked to someone today, it's like most people don't realize it, that one of the biggest tax leverages you get is from having an individual 401k. Yeah, it's incredible, right? So there are, the individual 401k is the most recent addition. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have to hold this because I'm used to looking into the camera. And so the individual 401k is one of the more recent ones. Yeah, you can sock away so much. So I have an individual 401k and I have it since 2009 or 10, 2009 I opened it. And it was talking to someone who had more experience, talking about it to another consultant that I met. It was an independent consultant, and we just started talking money, right? If you never reach the subject, you're never going to learn it. And he's like, oh, I have an individual 401k. And I was like, what's that? Ears all open. And I went up on Vanguard because I already had a Vanguard account. I researched it and I was like, okay, I shall open an individual 401k. And I filled out all my paperwork. I had to call them 3 times because I was like, I don't know, what's the name of my plan? They're like, make one up. And I was like, make one up like what? They're like a joannazarach retirement plan. I was like, sounds good. When in doubt, ask. When in doubt, don't just not do it because you're not sure. Just call someone and say, what would you suggest? Or what's an example of this so you can get it done? And then the individual 401k is made up of 2 portions. And I know we're totally off topic, but You can do it. So S corp can be too, but you need to have. Are you the sole owner? Are you the sole shareholder? So the individual 401k is special for people who don't have employees. And don't quote me on it. Like, read the rules, but I know for sure if you're the single person, you can have an S corp plan, and you can have it for sole proprietorship. Yeah, sole owner. So you can have an individual 401k for an S corp. Yeah, and so. What's nice about it, and I know I got it's not on the Schedule C. This is why I think it's missed, because it's in the 1040. Let's see if I know where the 1040. I have a 1040. I'm going to show you guys. So we're taking a little bit detour, but I want to show you the this is itemized deduction. Where's my green? Where's my green? There it is. Okay. On the adjusted gross income section, I've been studying the adjusted gross income. So I know we're taking a little bit detour, but it's relevant. I've been studying this section, I swear to God, since I was 20. Every year I look at it and I think about it. I say, will any of this be applicable to me? Or how can I make it applicable to me? And so look at, moving expenses, deductible part of self-employment tax. That's fairly standard, and that's just, it just carries through. But self-employed, SEP, simple and qualified plans. By the way, that's on individual 401k is one of those. And you can research the other plans. Again, I think individual 401k is far superior than the other plans because it's way more flexible, and it also has a Roth portion or a Roth option. Self-employed health insurance deduction, right? It's on here. There's some other penalties, the IRA deduction, student loan interest, tuition and fees. So always see the subtractions. So anyway, back to the individual 401k. It's made up two portions. One is the employee contribution. So the employee contribution is, the limit of it is the same as everyone else. It's $18,000. It's freaking me out when I do it this way. Okay, $18,000. And then the employer contribution, this is where the real power comes in, 25% of your profits. So I know that some people try to lower their taxes. Not me. I want to max out I want to max out. I mean, I lower it as much as possible because I have services. A lot of my revenue is taxable. And this has been a huge game changer because I can take 25% of my profit and I can contribute it to my individual 401k. Now, it has to be in the traditional plan, which means it's all tax deductible on your current taxes, and it's going to apply the rules for the traditional plans apply to it. 70.5, you have to do minimum withdrawals. That's why my entire employee contribution, the 18,000, is a Roth. So you can have a Roth and traditional within the same plan. Tax diversification. Now we're getting now we're getting somewhere. Tax diversification. So anyway, if you're an individual business owner outside of Schedule C, please look into how you can fund your retirement. Which means you need to be making more money than just what you need to live on, right? This is really, really important. And you need to keep making money till you get to that point. You need to keep coming up with different products, different services. You need to up your game till you get to the point where you're maxing the heck out of everything. Sometimes I feel bad about it's swearing here. Max it out. Put it in it. Like Roth individual 401k is magical. Why? Because, if you're doing well, you don't qualify for a Roth IRA. Like, where's your Roth access? You don't have it. So I eat the taxes that I have to pay now because I love Roth. I don't know who Roth is, but I love him and his plans, where that money is never has to get touched by me. I never have to withdraw it. It can get passed on to the next generation, and it's never taxable. Until they change the rules, but at least for now, let's fool ourselves into thinking that we got it all down. But in the perpetual motion machine of capitalism and the U.S. tax code, it's a pretty sweet deal. So anyway, that's the Money Matters for today. Yeah, I know. This is what my husband sometimes watches. He goes, what the heck are you saying? I'm like, I'm so excited about it. I really am. I'm like, I've thought deeply about taxation in the near term and in the long term. And it was really hard because the very first year I did my 401k, I did deductions on both the employee and employer. And it really hurt to not take the tax deduction in the year. You know, you pay all the tax and it's a little sad. And you're like, I just know it because the math works, right? And you want to diversify. Again, tax diversification strategies are really, really important. That's why I have portion Roth, portion tax deductible, 529 plans. Some are already the leftovers. You can only put so much in. That's when you start realizing you're like, man, I can only put this much into my tax deferred accounts. That's when you're like, okay, I'm onto something, right? Because that's what happens. You can only put so much every year. And that's why I implore you to invest now, to open your tax deferred or tax deductible accounts. Don't wait till 5 years from now. Don't pay off your low interest rate student loans. Don't pay off your mortgage before you invest. So that's my final message. Invest, people. Invest. You cannot go wrong with investing in the profitability of American corporations, and not just American corporations, global corporations. Like I'm a capitalist. I'm a socialist. Like I'm a libertarian, socialist. Bleeding heart capitalist. I don't know. I'm a contradiction in terms because I love I love the numbers behind profitability because that's a judgment. Like that's an absolute judgment. Like, was this a good idea? Were you able to sell this to someone at a higher price than the cost to manufacture it or to create it or to provide it or to service it? And it's not trivial, by the way. That's not a trivial thing. That's why I love business more than I love science. That's why I love science. Anyhow, thanks everyone. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you will take the time to study 17 years. Start now. Start now, double down. You are challenged because if you're really committed, look at your income streams. Figure out, can you make more money somewhere? And then start lower your expenses and double down on the investing. Max out anything that's available to you. Just go in it, just go in. You know what? First of all, if you're not making six figures, figure out. You got to start now. Invest, take a $5,500 IRA limit. If you qualify for a deduction, take it. Roth, take it. If not, even take it and do it. And what you need to do is reality check. You want to, and by the way, maybe it's going to be 20 years till retirement. I don't know. Depends how much you can flex your muscle. How uncomfortable do you want to get? Can you get out in the world and give value? Right? Yeah, of course, Joy, anytime. And I'm going to be asking you every week, have you opened your 401k? Because I'm relentless like that. And I'm passionate. Because I don't want to be the only person going, yeah, I don't understand. What's the problem? I want you to feel that way. I want you to take the actions that'll put you in a better position. So yes, if you haven't started saving, start today. It's Friday. It's 5:30 where I'm at. What else do you have to do that's more important? I don't know. That's right. I'm holding you accountable. I'm holding everybody accountable. God damn it. That's I have no problem doing it. And I'll give you support. Here's the thing. It's accountability with support. When I say you can do this, I've seen you do, everyone's done things that I don't know how to do. So anyway, double down on your income, double down on your investing, and double down on reducing your expenses. And the best time, to start investing was yesterday. The next best time is today. Or the next, they said that if you want shade, you should, plant a seed. But if you don't plant a seed today, you'll never have the shade. You'll just be digging, the dirt looking for things. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks. Love French toast. Thank you. I think you're fairly new. Thank you guys. If you have any questions for me, Twitter, Snapchat, love answering it. Love giving people advice. I met with yet another person today in Chicago. Thank you guys. Study your tax returns before, after, last year's, next year's, and get into the Schedule C and then track throughout the year. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll be on at 10 a.m. because I'm on every single day at 10 a.m. Central, 7 days a week for you guys to make better choices and make more informed choices when it comes to finances. Yeah, 2013, you'll get there. I believe in you, Sandy. You just got to make it a goal. Challenge yourself, 2013. I know. I gotta get my taxes by April. Ask me again on April 19th if I did my taxes this year, if I just like filed for the extension. I'll do other people's taxes before I do my own taxes. It's such a pain. So, okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.